The old antique shop smelled of dust and forgotten memories. Tucked away in a dark corner, I found it, a wedding dress, vintage and beautiful, made of ivory lace that cascaded to the floor like a waterfall. It was perfect, exactly what I had been dreaming of for my wedding day. The shopkeeper, a withered old man with eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 stories, sold it to me for a shockingly low price. He just said, "Some things are meant to be found." I should have seen that as a warning. Back home, I couldn't resist trying it on. The moment the cool silk touched my skin, a strange feeling washed over me. It was more than just the excitement of a bride-to-be. It was a coldness, a deep, penetrating chill that had nothing to do with the temperature of the room. When I looked in the mirror for a fleeting second, I didn't see my own reflection. I saw a woman, pale and gaunt, with sorrowful eyes staring back at me. Her hair was dark, her lips a faint blue. Then, just as quickly, she was gone, and it was just me again, standing in a beautiful dress. I shook my head, blaming it on pre-wedding jitters and the dim lighting. That night, the nightmares began. I dreamt of a church empty and cold. I was walking down the aisle, the dress feeling heavy like a shroud. At the altar, no one was waiting for me, just an open, empty casket. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. My fiancé tried to comfort me, telling me it was just stress. But I knew it was something more. The dress was doing this to me. The strange occurrences started happening even when I was awake. I'd hear faint weeping coming from the closet where the dress was hanging. Sometimes I'd catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure out of the corner of my eye, always just disappearing as I turned to look. I started losing weight. Dark circles formed under my eyes. I was becoming a ghost of myself. Mark was getting worried. He suggested I get rid of the dress, but I couldn't. It was irrational, I know, but I felt a strange attachment to it, a possessiveness that wasn't my own. One evening, I decided to research the dress. The shopkeeper had given me a small, faded tag that was pinned to the inside. It had a name and a date, Eleonora, 1889. A few hours of digging through online archives led me to a local history website, and there she was, Eleonora. A photograph from the late 19th century showed a young woman with the same sorrowful eyes I had seen in the mirror. She was wearing my dress. The story was a tragedy. Eleonora was set to be married, but on the morning of her wedding, her groom left her. He ran off with another woman, leaving only a cruel, short note. Devastated and humiliated, Eleonora, still in her wedding gown, took her own life in the very church where she was supposed to be married. Her spirit, they said, never found peace. She was forever bound to the dress, a bride without a groom, eternally waiting. The coldness I felt wasn't just a feeling, it was her sorrow. The weeping I heard was her endless grief. The woman in the mirror was Eleonora, and she was slowly taking me over. Her despair was becoming my own. I started pushing Mark away, picking fights, finding reasons to call off our wedding. It was like another voice was in my head, whispering poison, telling me he would leave me, that all men were cruel, that I was destined to be alone. The day before my wedding, I looked at myself in the mirror. I was pale, thin, my eyes hollow. I barely recognized myself. I looked like her. I knew then that if I wore that dress down the aisle, it wouldn't be me getting married. It would be Eleonora trying to finish her ceremony, and I would be trapped with her inside the lace and silk forever. With a surge of adrenaline and fear, I grabbed the dress. It felt strangely heavy, resisting me. I could almost hear a scream echoing in my mind, a plea not to be separated. I stuffed it into a black trash bag, my hands shaking uncontrollably. I drove to the old incinerator at the edge of town, the one used for industrial waste. The whole time I felt like I was being watched. I could feel her rage, her desperation. I threw the bag into the roaring furnace. For a moment, there was a sound, a high-pitched shriek that cut through the noise of the fire. A gust of cold air rushed past me, and I saw a shape, a translucent figure of a woman in a wedding gown, rising with the smoke. Her face was twisted in an expression of pure agony. Then she dissolved into the night sky. I stood there for a long time, shivering not from the cold, but from the release. The weight that had been pressing on my soul for weeks was finally gone. The next day I bought a simple, new dress off the rack. When I walked down the aisle to Mark, I felt nothing but my own love, my own joy. But even now, years later, on quiet nights, I sometimes think I hear faint weeping on the wind, and when I pass by an antique shop, I can't help but walk a little faster. Some things are beautiful, but they carry a price far greater than what you pay at the counter. Some memories aren't meant to be worn. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Sleep tight.